Let us begin with the today's session from JC eConnect, in which we'll start with cellular wireless system evolution. The cellular system has been tremendous changes has been happening till today. Okay, in the early initial state, the wireless communication has been started with AMPS, that is Advanced Mobile Phone System, in which the user can able to transmit only voice and text by using analog FDMA technology, that is frequency division multiplex access. Okay. Now later, how the changes are happening? Okay, the number of users are increasing. The changes will be given with like a generations, that is 1G, 2G, 3G, like this. Okay. Now, if the technology has thought that some more features will be added, so that it has been came up with like a 2G in the early 1990s. Okay, with the advancement technology with like a digital modulation schemes will be introduced here. Okay, by use of one more technology, that is a TDMA, that is a time division multiple access. Okay, in the 2G. Okay, in between the 2G, okay, the transition between 2G and 3G, there is a simultaneous improvement will be happening with the internet technology. So the internet technology has been introduced here, so it has been called as a 2.5G. Okay, because the simultaneous there is the internet has been introduced into 2G. Okay, and the technology has been given with like a TDMA and as well as a narrowband CDMA technology. Okay, so in this 2G there is so much of advancement, security issues and roaming issues has been solved. Okay, so that user can fill without disturbing any call drop. Okay, and how the techniques and the number of users are increasing, it has been globalized and given with 3G. Okay, that has been came up in the year 1990. Okay, that is a global harmonization and roaming technology, because user are not sticking to the only one place. They can roam around the world freely without any disturbance of communications. That has been came up with like a 3G. Okay, in 3G there is a advancement technology, there is a communication technology has been used with wideband CDMA. For example, it has been came up with like a UMTS, okay, and CDMA 2000 and CDSCDMA. These are the technology has been introduced in 3G. Okay, now what next after 3G? Means the user is not sitting. Okay, the technology is not sitting quietly. So what will be happening at the beyond the 3G? Because nowadays the user are holding with like a smartphones running with a very high speed internet and high speed data connectivity, and any remote location you will be getting like a good communication techniques. Okay, so that has been thought of, and they come up with like a beyond 3G what can be possible. Okay, that is given by International Mobile Telecommunication System, that is IMT 2000. Okay, in the year 2000 it is introduced, so given with like a 2000. Okay, there is what the evolutionary changes will be happening. Okay, how it is the evolutionary changes? Okay, my mobile phone will be speeding, means my data rate speeding at the rate of 100 Mbps. That is a much faster than the earlier technology. Okay, that is what we call as a nomadic or local area class targets, means it can able to reach up to 1 Gbps. Okay, from this 3G, okay, the evolutionary changes will be given, and it will be called as a 3GPP, that is a third generation partnership project. Okay, and it has been named with like advancement here 2. Okay, in this, okay, your 4G, that is what we call as a LTE, long term evaluation, will be introduced here, because by looking into the speed issues, by looking into the call drop issues, they are come up with like a new generation's technology or new generation. Okay, we call it as a LTA, long term evaluation. Okay, and the simultaneously in it is be given with IEEE 802.16, okay, based on WiMAX technology, because it is a speeding issues evolving towards 4G through 802.16, that is a IEEE standard will be mentioned as 802.16 m. Okay. Now that's for like 3GPP. What are the changes? How the evaluation will be happening here? It will be came up with like a UMTS, that is a wideband CDMA, okay, and high speed data transmission, that is a high speed, that is a D for data, there is a direct, there's uplink transmissions and downlink transmission, D for downlink and U for uplink transmission, that is a high speed internets, okay, how we are calling it as a. Now what will be introduced in 3GPP? Okay, that is a downlink, MIMO, IMPS, that is a internet protocol with a multimedia subsystem and optimized real-time services. That will be like on voice over internet protocol and gaming and push to talk. Okay, that is a easy way how we are going to be on the fingertip. My communication is running because lots of like communication will be happening, okay, by use of this 3GPP. Okay, now coming to the LTE, okay, that is a 3GPP work on evaluation of the 3G mobile system started in early 2004. What will be introduced? Okay, it is a standardized in the form of like a release of it. Okay, specialized and it is the specifications will be given, finalized and approved during the year 2008. Okay, and target deployment will be at the year 2010. Okay, now there is a hence onwards, there is a advancement, there is a phase progress will be happening in LTE, okay, by phase technology. Okay, this is what the same continuation with like a CDMA 2000 will be given in the 1919, CDMA 2000, okay, there's a evolutionary changes in the downlink and uplink, there's a VoIP technique, there's a protocols and multi-carrier technology. Okay, there earlier it is running with like a single carrier, now they are running with like a multi-carrier techniques. Okay, what do you mean by ultra mobile broadband UMB? Okay, that is based on EDO, there's a 802.20 and flash orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. This is what the technique has been came up in 3GPP2. There is a evolutionary changes and the data rate. Okay, the data rate and interference problem has been solved by using OFDM. Okay, and its specification we'll find it in 2007 and commercially it has been given in year 2009. Okay, now coming to IEEE 802.16. Okay, 802.16 given in year 2002. Okay, the line of sight fixed operation from 10 to 66 megahertz. For 16A, air interface supported for 2 to 11 gigahertz. Okay, for minor improvements to fix to a 16A. Okay, means there's a minor improvement has been given in the protocol 16A and has been given with the protocol named 16D. Okay, and 802.16e, okay, that will be support for vehicular mobility and asymmetrical links, because vehicular mobility where is the fastest data rate transmission, okay, can be given in the protocol 802.16e. Okay, further onwards 16m, okay, high data rate and reduced latency and efficient security mechanism has been introduced in these IEEE protocol standards. Okay, now what are the requirement for LTE? Okay, there is a peak data rate, means it can go up to 100 Mbps, that is a downlink data rate. Okay, means my wireless communication can able to support up to 100 Mbps and uplink up to 50 Mbps within 20 megahertz of bandwidth. Also, it up to 200 active users in a cell of frequency 5 megahertz. It can able to set up to 200 active users and less than 5 milliseconds user plane latency. The latency has been decreased up to 5 millisecond. Okay, now when I come to like a mobility, okay, it will be optimized for 0 to 15 km per hour. 15 to 120 km per hour supported with high performance, and supported up to 350 km per hour or even up to 500 km per hour. Okay, that is a mobility. You can freely move around this much of distance, so that you will able to have continuity in communication. That is what the LTE requirement. That and the next will be enhanced multimedia broadcast multicast service. Means it can have a multimedia communication will be happening in the LTE without any discontinuity in the communication. And spectral flexibility up from 1.25 to 20 megahertz. Okay, there is a what next one is the enhanced support for end-to-end. There is a quality of service will be getting improved and enhanced with respect to security also and service also. Okay, these are the key LTE enabling technologies has been given out. Okay, in the previous slide I discussed about it is going to be supporting with like OFDM. There is a orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. It is supported with the frequency domain equalization, SC-FDMA, that is a single carrier. Okay, FDMA technology, and MIMO. Okay, that is a multi-input, multi-output concept has been given out, and it has been successfully introduced, and it is giving a full service for the user requirements. Okay, that is a multi-carrier, multi-channel, multi-carrier. Okay, dependent source scheduling. Your source availability for the user will be depends on like multi-carrier, multi-channel dependent, and fractional frequency reuse. Okay, there's a frequency reuse concept will be okay most used in wireless technology. Okay, coming to the slide, LTE enabling technologies, that is a single carrier FDMA, SC-FDMA is a new single carrier multiple access technique in which a similar structure and performance to OFDMA. Okay, means we have a single carrier. Okay, single carrier, it can able to support with a frequency division multiple access. Okay, and orthogonal frequency multiplexing, that is using with like a discrete Fourier transform spreading. Okay, I hope we know that. Okay, it is multiplexed technology in which transmitter and frequency are multiplexed with DFT techniques. Okay, this is the most important techniques will be given in LTE. A silent advantage of SC-FDMA over OFDM is low PAPR. Okay, means there's a performance. Okay, there's a performance will be very much improved by using OFDMA, because in SC-FDMA single carrier, in OFDMA is a multi-carrier. Okay, that is a efficient transmitter and improved cell edge performance. Okay, these are the key features of LTE. That is multiple access scheme. Okay, downlink will be OFDMA, uplink with a single carrier FDMA. Because when I say uplink, okay, definitely the data will be transmitted from mobile phones. How I say uplink is nothing but your mobile phone is getting connected to the nearby station, that is a nearby BTS, that is what we call tower. Okay, uplink. And next features of LTE, that is adaptive modulation and coding techniques by use of QPSK and 16-bit QAM and up to 64 QAM techniques. That is what we are given with like a discrete Fourier transform, and convolutional coding with release of 16 turbo coders will be given. Okay, in LTE techniques. Okay, and advanced MIMO spatial multiplexing techniques. Okay, that is what I say is a MIMO techniques 2 by 2 or 4. That is a 2 or 4 means there's a 2 transmitter, 4 receiver, downlink and uplink supported. Means it's there is like a number of antennas at the transmitter and the receiver are n numbers. Means there is no single transmitter and a single receiver concept. How it will be given in the previous communication technology. It is a multiple transmitters and multiple receivers. So it will be given with like a 2x4 and support with like a both FDD and TDD. Okay, earlier techniques in wireless technology, they could have able to support either only FD, there is a frequency division, or time division. Now it will be supported with like a both, depends on requirement and communication techniques. Okay, and will be next will be like a ARQ, mobility support, rate control, and security issues will be given with like a high features in LTE. Okay, these are the basic key features of LTE are requirement to get enabled for a faster data rate. Okay, thank you.